All right, welcome to fabulous Las Vegas. We're standing on the terrace at Carmela Restaurant in Planet Hollywood. This is going to be the third year in a row that Vegas is going to host the F1 race, but this started from a phone call during the pandemic. Can you bring me back into how this all started on that first phone call?
The story is way too long to go into loads of detail because we'd be here for an hour. Yes. But a very close mutual friend told me that if I want to do anything in Las Vegas, to make one phone call to this lady here. I was just very fortunate she picked up the phone. So I'll let you tell the story, but it went on, for a couple of weeks of where we started speaking and realized that we were in love.
Completely in love from the very beginning. I have to say I'm never can't find my words. And when she said, hey, do you think that we can race cars down the middle of the strip at 200 plus miles an hour? I was like, oh. And I was silent for a second.
She was.
But we figured out what an extraordinary opportunity. This global powerhouse coming to Las Vegas, that marriage is just perfect. And this one can figure out anything.
And Michonne, I've only met you a couple times, but you're a talker, so you being speechless is
it's crazy, right? It doesn't happen.
That is true.
How did you pull it off?
A lot of tenacity is my favorite word when we talk about that. Obviously, the challenge really was the condensed timeline that really we felt like we had a moment in time to strike whilst the iron was hot. And so the challenge was it was during the pandemic whereby we couldn't actually get in the country at that point in time. So we had to wait for certain periods of time. But what that meant is behind the scenes, we could do a lot of the back end work. And so we spent months basically figuring out where we could build a racetrack. One of the things to acknowledge is we always said, if we're not racing down Las Vegas Boulevard, we're not racing in Las Vegas, because obviously that's the scene, it's the spectacle, it's everything that we wanted to bring.
Wow. And can you just break down the massive results that you've seen? Did it outpace even your expectations of what it could feel like?
Obviously, the economic impact was extraordinary. What it did for both F1 and for Las Vegas was game changing. And so that economic impact obviously was what we were hoping for, but it was bigger and better than anyone could have imagined. And now, because of Emily's hard work, it's becoming the fabric of Las Vegas because she believes in the community, supports the community.
And just to put a number on it, on that economic impact, about $1 billion every year, right? Which is crazy. The biggest annual event in Vegas every year, right? Vegas is known for so many things. How do you change a brand into something that is part of the culture, that's sleek, that's sexy, that's cool?
I think Formula One has always been all of those things. I think what we've done is make it more accessible so everybody understands that.
Absolutely.
It used to be, behind closed doors, very affluent, no one could figure out where to buy a ticket. Our jobs on a global basis, not just in Vegas, is to make the awareness there, partnering with Netflix and Drive to Survive, partnering with Apple where we did the movie with Brad Pitt, obviously was a huge success and it featured Vegas prominently.
So F1, and you can correct me on all this, but F1 has never said yes to, using F1, the actual name, for a movie and being engaged. And because Stefano Domenicali and Emily are so smart and thinking about that fandom and who it's going to excite, the science behind F1 is stunning. The tech of it is extraordinary. So that movie dug so deep into all of that. Were there 18 cameras on the cars?
Yeah, I think it was, if I'm honest, I think it might have been more than that. But I think
right?
The amazing part of it was that the racetracks became the movie set. And so the majority of what you saw being filmed was done, during the Las Vegas race, they were filming Brad Pitt in a crash, like it was happening.
I love how you mentioned the experiential part, the game, the race, right? And then you're capturing hearts with Drive to Survive, with the F1 movie. You were working at F1 when Drive to Survive came out. Take me back to that time. You couldn't have thought that it would have been such a big thing.
Well, Box to Box, for the production company of Drive to Survive, were phoning around quite a few different sports leagues trying to get this type of access. Sean Bratches, who was the managing director of commercial of the time, and Chase Carey, who was the CEO of F1, just opened the floodgates again. If you think about how Liberty have come in and transitioned from, the Bernie days, what they really nailed was accessibility. It's the key word in all of it. And it's like, well, why don't we give them a shot at doing this? Obviously, you get no editorial control. The biggest challenge was convincing the Formula One teams to do it. And fun fact that the first season didn't have Ferrari and Mercedes. They saw the success of it, and by season 2 they were involved. So I definitely agree with you. Like, it wasn't like anybody could have envisaged the success, but I think having the clout, I suppose, to go and do it when others had said no just meant that we had somewhat an advantage. And then really the key to it was shifting the mindset of the organisation. You know, now you've acquired all of these new fans, that's great, but unless you know how to talk to them, communicate with them and sell them something, then how do you keep them engaged the whole time? And so the biggest challenge with all of it was not the Drive to Survive series per se, it was actually like, what do we now do? Because we weren't ready for the influx of what came next. We had fans that want to consume content on TikTok, they want 30-second shorts, they want YouTube shorts. We spent a lot of time figuring that side of it out, because otherwise there was no point in having Drive to Survive and everything else. And I think what we're seeing now is the fruition of all of that hard work that we did back then.
But that's what's so amazing about you and Stefano. So both Stefano Domenicali and Emily Prazer say yes. They figure out how to say yes and keep reimagining the sport going forward. Instead of using a playbook that has worked, they're looking for new fans to bring in to love the sport as much as they do. And so always finding the way to get to yes from a marketing perspective, that braveness, that way of just attacking opportunity, that is the game changer.